Hi. In this fifth video on burnout, I'd like to talk about something that I found very helpful being a musician. And it's an idea that can transfer to someone in any line of work or even in a relationship. So, when I left symphony work to be self-employed, part of what I did was play occasional jobs, primarily doing weddings. So brides really enjoy Pachelbel's canon in D. I would say conservatively, I've played that piece of music at least 1,500 different times. And about number 900 something, you begin to question your sanity. If I do this one more time, I'm going to, That is a moment of truth for burnout. And the paradigm shift that I made at that moment went something like this. The bride, on one of her most important days in her entire life, loves this piece of music. And so I am playing this for her and for her husband, for the family. And in making that shift, all of the burnout disappeared. So there was this paradigm shift that happened. And there's not a parent on the planet who hasn't experienced this. Sometimes it happens unconsciously, right? When it happens consciously, it can be incredibly liberating. And I wanted to bring it to your attention because sometimes, we do things for others more so than for ourselves, but we forget. We forget. And when you make that shift, quite often what can happen is that you make peace with it. In other words, to be bothered by doing something is a choice. To be frustrated is a choice. Detachment is also a choice, right? And in the Tai Chi Gung system, we don't leave people there. In other words, life is not intended to be boring and filled with mindless suffering for no reason. When life really is filled with passion and excitement and enthusiasm and essentially doing the thing we came here to do. When the soul is doing its mission in this life, there is a flow of love that comes through that is undeniable, and it can motivate and keep a person out of burnout perpetually. You really feel like you're in heaven, even when you're working, right? So how does that happen? Well, it begins with a conscious connection to the life force itself. And in our classes, almost 9 out of 10 people, when they get to the end of the Tai Chi swim, they will feel the energy between their hands. And they learn over time with practice how the breath is connected to that, and how the mind and the breath can work together to bring the spirit, the mind, and the body all together in one place. And through a series of exercises, we come to an understanding of how to increase it, dial it up, so to speak, and then take a look at our life, our relationships, our work, and build a plan. Sometimes for me, for example, I had a lifelong goal of playing in a symphony, and I was living that dream when I met my Tai Chi Gung master and started practicing Tai Chi Gung. At a certain point, it became clear that that was one step along the way to moving forward. And I came to an understanding, okay, I can build a life that is beyond this rock around my neck. Yeah. And because that plan was in place, I made peace with it, right? I made peace with it. So the idea is not that you take something that is a burden and carry it forever. It's that you come to an understanding, okay, is this the right thing for everyone? And how can I move forward to recreate a life of greater health, vitality, and abundance? We encourage people to try Tai Chi Gung if they're curious about it, and we want to make that as easy as possible. If you visit the website, you can register and get a card that gives you a free class, and it's good for 30 days from the time that you register. I want to thank you for taking the time to view our video, and I look forward to meeting you someday. Thank you.